Hi there. We have got a exciting guest this morning on a special edition of the Small Businesses Do It Better show. We've got Brent Pullman, who is a marketing extraordinaire. Stay tuned and you can ask him all of your questions. Welcome to Small Businesses Do It Better. This is episode 38 of the show. I'm Carissa Dunphy, the host. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got Brent Pullman with us this morning. He is in Nebraska. So we'll talk with him in just a second. A couple quick things. If you're watching live right now on the website, you can quickly, if you have any questions you want to ask, go ahead and ask them on the side. I can't type right now. My keyboard's funny, but I can read I can see what you're writing. So if you have any questions for Brent or myself, let me know and I will get that question asked for Brent. I want to talk about our sponsor really quick, which is Ovali. At Ovali, we simply want to help you create something for you. We empower your home office lifestyle through web hosting, cloud services, and domain names. Visit ovali.com to work with us today. And also from Audible, the special thing we have here for the listeners of the Small Business Do It Better podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I'm just finishing up a book called Eating the Big Fish, which has been really good. It's all about marketing outside of the box. So I highly recommend listening to that one. And I'm just starting the book called Leapfrogging, which I'm stoked. I tend to listen to these in my car, so if you drive a lot, that works well. So to get your free audiobook download, go to audibletrial.com/SBDIB, which is Small Businesses Do It Better. Okay, so along with our new branding and fun changes that we've had going on here, if you are a blogger and you want to promote your small business, on our website there's a guest blog submission. You can submit your guest blogs. Also, if you want to be featured on the show, if you have a service, then we can Skype you in like we're doing Brent. And if you have a product, we will be talking about a product soon. We have all sorts of products coming in that we're talking about, helping small businesses get their name out there. So go to SBDIB/profile and submit your information and I will contact you. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to welcome Brent Pullman to the show.
Hi, Carissa.
Hi, Brent. How are you this morning?
Great.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm very excited about this.
Thanks so much for joining us. I know we've been working up a meeting for months, but Brent's been so busy.
Yes, to say the least. But I'm glad this finally came together, and I'm glad we can do this.
Me too. I am so excited. I've been following Brent's blog for a long time, and he has so many informative things that he blogs about. So his blog right here, marketingdirectorblog.com, he's already wrapping out 2012 posts. You are ahead of the curve. Top 15 Twitter tips from 2012. And then his company website, midwestlabs.com, right here. So you can go visit him there. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to start by asking Brent, tell us a little bit the why, the how, and the what behind what you do.
Well, why? Actually, Midwest Laboratories. We've got 120 employees here, and it's been growing leaps and bounds here since we've over the last 10 years. We do all types of testing, from food, water, soil. Right now, it's heavy into soil. To fuels. So our clientele is just across the board. We do all kinds of testing, and we have clients all across the country. So we tried to find ways, again, to reach these types of clients, and we do it several ways. we probably got into social about 10 to 15 years ago by attending trade shows. We do about 50 to 60 trade shows a year.
Wow.
And from that experience, we decided to move that to the web. And it's evolved over time. And now with social media, it's really taken off too with that. Um, that's kind of a little bit of background about what we do. Um, and I can get into more specifics as we go in the interview. But yeah, it's an exciting company. We're located right centrally here in the United States, but we do have clients on both coasts, and it's a growing company.
That's amazing. I can only imagine how watching the growth just from social media has been interesting just to watch that.
So yeah, yes, it has.
And you have all sorts of different clients. What's your general rule of thumb when it comes to finding the right clients?
You know, that's a great question. We try to find we try to find clients that we think are going to be those that are going to stay with us for the long term, which means we really have to do a good job of telling our story. And I think we're getting better at that. We're improving that constantly. Just this week, we had a video team in here capturing video for a whole day. So again, we want to bring that lab experience to the client. And we thought through video, that's probably the one piece that we were missing the most. But it's, through social media, you meet the context and then you got to follow up and take them offline. That's really the key in social media. Get to them and show that personal touch. But social media is a it does help to meet them first online and meet the right people online, as we'll talk about too, I think in some of your other as we go through this discussion.
Definitely. And you get to meet all sorts of people that you would never have met otherwise if it weren't through social
Absolutely.
media.
Absolutely. I'll just throw in too that there are so many great resources, just like yourself, that we've followed each other, I think, for over a year. Is that probably about
It's been
right?
a while, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I learn the most is following other people out there and just getting big tips here and there. And so it's a great place to not only do business but learn every day something new out there.
Definitely. Jules from Kickstart Kitchen has a question. Hi, Jules. Good morning. With your audience being more a business to business, how do you use social media effectively? It seems more challenging to get likes, shares, or retweets when you're not selling a consumer product.
Absolutely. If you want to go, we do have a blog site that's separate. We are in the process of getting a new website, but if you go to blogmidwestlabs.com, that site is about 2 years old, and for the last 2 years, I posted something every day. So content management is a huge part of the B2B. It's amazing. You'll put a post out there on fracking, for instance, getting oil from rocks.
Uh huh.
And within a month, I had 5 inquiries, and I think we have had 10 accounts
Wow.
just based on that, sharing that on social media and posting it on the blog. Again, that was blogmidwestlabs.com. But yeah, so I think it really does start with a blog, and people can find you, but you got to have a lot of content out there.
Good tip. Do you find in your industry that there is less social media usage?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. The other thing I think that really helps is you have two IDs. I have a company ID,
Mm-hmm.
Midwest Labs, as well as a personal ID, and you need both of them. They need to see your brand out there and talk a little bit about what's happening at your company, as well as they need to put a face behind who that person is at the company. So some people can do it all with a personal ID. I can't do that yet. I'm not there yet, but and I don't think I want to either. So, but those are things you have to discover as you go through the process.
Right. Definitely. But the next question I have is how important is it to listen to your customer and pay attention to the details?
Oh, it's absolutely important. Every day we get probably 10 to 20 inquiries, and you got to respond to those in a timely manner. And most of those, they're looking not only at you but your competition. So how you handle that call, whether it's a post on your website, I'll tell you right now, we have 7 client service staff. So when the phone rings here, it's a live voice. It's not a machine. Those things they seem small, but they're probably the critical success factors in how we serve clients. So definitely, you got to listen to the details. Another thing, as you saw that post today on Twitter, I use Twitter for information. If I see a post, let's say it's on melamine in foods, which is a filler, a plastic filler, I will, once I see that, if that happens in China, you can bet that in the next days, next week after that post, companies around the US are going to be testing their product or looking for a lab to do that. And so I'll give our lab analysts a heads up. And it's so funny to see their reaction. They'll say, "Did you see that on Twitter? What are you doing? Where did you find out about that?" But it's a great news. You got to be in tune with what's going on in the industry, and Twitter is really becoming the place to go to get the news, is what I'm finding out.
Definitely me myself as well. And I suppose they're thinking you're getting some insider information when really it's just you're just ahead of the curve by staying
Oh,
on Twitter.
and absolutely, you can, well, and you know this probably too. You can analyze your competition out there just as well. I'm sure
Yeah,
somebody probably searched my name is probably listening to this right now or looking at this video. So yeah, I mean, we have to be aware of that all the time.
definitely. No, Twitter is definitely where the news is. I find myself whenever there's a big event or if something major happens, Twitter is definitely where the information is the fastest. It's posted on Twitter before the news source can get the page up on their website, so you can hear about it or get a little blurb, and then check
Absolutely.
back, and it's all there. Incredible. So I read a blog post that you wrote about social media extras once. So what are a couple social media extras that you should advise?
I think for social media extras, I would say if you can bring social media to your traditional media somehow, whether that's through trade shows or incorporate it, the other media, your brochures, that stuff is not going away. People, you'll read the words go, oh, replacing um, hardcore media. It's not. You just have to find a way to incorporate it. That'd be one extra I would say. A second one I would say is, and I think we kind of alluded to, you got to follow the right people. So many times you'll hear this, well, I'll follow you and you follow me. And I struggle through that too as well. But what you really want to do is follow the right people, those that are going to be advocates for your business, those that you are going to listen to you. Um, and it's amazing. You'll go to a show and they'll say, "Oh, I saw that tweet out there," but they didn't say anything on Twitter, but you'll see them at a show.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the type of people you do want to follow, or those people who are talking maybe about information at a particular company. Um, those are the types of people you do want to follow. So I would really encourage you to really just follow a few because it's hard to follow a ton of people. I don't know how people follow 50,000 people or 20,000. You just can't and engage with. Do you really want to engage with 50,000 people? I don't know
Yeah.
how people can do that. I don't understand that.
Well, and I think a lot of times people get overwhelmed with Twitter because they're like, how do I follow hundreds and hundreds of people? And if you're going to follow that many people, you really have to have it organized well. You got to have your lists. You got to have it set up so that you can actually see those tweets that are coming in and not just this giant stream of.
That that's a great point. In fact, I just redid my list. I don't know. Did you see, I don't know if you saw that post earlier this week. I wrote about that same process because I'm in my list grew too big. So now I have a best of the best, as I think is what I call it. So
The
yeah, you
best,
have
and then the best of the best, and
yes,
then the
yes.
best of the best of the best. You just keep going. So extending from that question, why is who you follow so important on Twitter?
I think it is. It's a matter of trust. Everybody wants to trust the other person on the other end. I can tell you, and I know you follow him too, is Jim Contley. He's out of the UK, Jim's marketingblog.com. We've worked together. Actually, we do business together when we have for the last 3 years, and we met over Twitter. And now, for me to tell you that I can trust somebody across the ocean, if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I would have said you were crazy. But um, that's what we're limited today. You find the best of the best, and it doesn't really matter where they're at because you can stay connected through all these great tools like Skype and social media. So that's one for your own personal growth, and two, again, who you follow, those I've done those software programs. You probably see them where you can add 100 or 200 um, connections in an hour or day. You can build your following fast. I can show you how to do that, or I can tell you what software to buy. But do you really want to be connected to all those type of people? You'll start getting people that are very questionable. And are those the people you really want to engage with? And I always use the analogy of a networking event. Do you always connect with everyone at a networking event? Do you want to? You want to talk to that guy who's you know is going to be giving you a phone call the next day? There's certain people you probably want to avoid at a networking event, and there's others, maybe very few that you really want to go after because you know they're the ones that you probably have a chance at getting to know and sell. Obviously, at the end, sell your product or service. So that's kind of the mentality I have. The network mentality I've taken to social media, but it's taken me a while. This is a learning curve, you know. Anybody who says they're an expert, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So I know you called me an expert. I kind of cringe every time.
Extraordinaire.
Stop. Stop. I just share what I've learned, and that's how I give back. That's the way I do it. But I do not consider myself an expert, so by any means.
Most of the time, the people who call themselves experts voluntarily are the ones who are trying and aren't, and the ones who are humble are. So if you want to learn from Brent, I read his blog regularly, and he mentioned Jim Connolly, jimsmarketingblog.com. I read Jim's blog regularly also. But Brent's blog is marketingdirectorblog.com. And he also has his company one, which is blog.midwestlabs.com. So Jules from Kickstart Kitchen, they're laughing in the chat room. They're LOLing. So Jules wants to know, how have you created strong relationships in 140 characters? What steps do you take?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've learned, obviously the hashtags help, as you're probably aware of. The other thing I would probably recommend is just throwing something in there. When I release a blog post in the morning, I'll put just posted, or I think today was just released. Put something that catches somebody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And do your own original content. You can share other people's content, but people want to connect with somebody who's actually working with these tools and has seen results. And that's the other thing. And as far as 140 characters, I try to keep my tweets short. I try not. You got to give them room to retweet you, and that's the key. The other one I would say is call out somebody, on Twitter. Mention a person's name. Ask them a question. There's nothing more personal than that once you get on Twitter, and a lot of people don't even do that. But I would say just keep your messages short. If you have a link, make sure it's something that's worth sharing, and know what audience you're talking to. But and then the other thing is consistency. You almost have to be on every day. I'm not on every hour. I maybe tweet maybe 5 to 10 times a day, and that's about it. Or the company maybe a couple times, but at least I'm on every day.
Well, and you were really quick to respond. If I tweet you, for example, you always respond generally. If you tweet someone and they respond 3 days later, it's like, it's not really the point of Twitter.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. Yeah, I use TweetDeck. I mean, if you want, I don't know what you guys use out there, but TweetDeck to me, well, you can have the individual columns, you can have different IDs, you can see your mentions. The mentions is what Chris is talking about with your name. You got to get back to somebody. Somebody mentions your name, you should do it within the day out of respect. If it takes you 2 or 3 days, like she says, then are they really following you, or do they really care? That's what goes through your head.
Exactly, yeah. Well, and there's all sorts of tools out there. Everyone has their own preferences, but I get push notifications on my phone if someone mentions me, because I do want to answer them quickly. I mean, it's Twitter. It's very fast paced. It's not It's not LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm finding, I don't know, are you finding the new LinkedIn? It's getting closer to Twitter. I think it is.
Yeah, I'm getting more on there. I was quite concerned when they removed the Twitter updates from automatic, but we'll see where that goes.
Here's a LinkedIn tip that someone showed me that has helped me connect better with other people. When you share, there's a little drop down there, and you can share what other people have shared, like an article or some other file, and it's really helpful. It's really helpful. I'll probably have to write another blog post about this little tip, but I'm actually seeing some more conversation on LinkedIn than I have in a long time. So the changes they're making I think it's getting better.
Well, that's good. And it's a whole nother network, too. I mean, I find I use LinkedIn for some things completely different than I would ever do on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, if anyone in the chat has any more questions for Brent, let me know. Brent, before we let you go, can you tell us where everybody can find you online?
Um, Again, you can go to the marketingdirectorblog.com. That's just insights to how I use social media and other marketing tools. Obviously, if you follow our blog at Midwest Labs, it's blog midwestlabs.com. Hopefully, in the next couple months, we'll have a new website too where the blog will be incorporated. But again, like I said, during the week, I try to write something happening at Midwest Labs or something related to science or chemistry, and then as well as the personal one on the marketing side. That's just more sharing, and I learn just as much as what I share. So that's kind of how I stay connected on the marketing side of it.
Well, you have a lot of information that I've learned from your blog, so keep it up.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again. I think this is very cool what you're doing with businesses and giving them a chance to share their stories. And I haven't done anything quite like this. So again, thanks for reaching out to me too.
Well, thank you. We are utilizing all of this new fancy technology to Skype with people across the country.
So great.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Brent. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're really busy.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Carissa. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Brent. Okay, so I love Brent. I've been following him for quite some time. We're going to feature our product now because we're also doing products on the show. So this week's product is Fitzy Foods, Michelle Weinstein. Now, I have to say, I love this presentation that she sent. I'm going to take out the handwritten card that she sent me. That was very nice, Michelle. Okay, so she has her folder with all these beautiful handouts in here with all the information, her business cards, everything that you could need in here. But what Fitzy Foods is, their tagline is ideal meals to fit your lifestyle. So they have a store, I think it's in San Diego, where you can go pick these up, but they also mail them. So when I got my box, it was literally the size of a cooler. It's a cardboard box. Inside that was a styrofoam, like temporary cooler with the food in it, and it was cold still. So let me grab the food over here. Okay, so one of them didn't make it. The chicken enchiladas didn't make it all the way to the show. They're gone. They're in my stomach. So they were very good, though. I had to try it to make sure that they were good to report back to you. Okay, so in this information that she sent me, there's all sorts of different foods. She kind of sent me a variety, but she has a lot. And they're not processed. Most of them are organic. There's vegan, there's gluten-free, there's dairy-free. Okay, so these, totally saving these for my sister. They're vegan meatballs. I'm sorry, I'm getting really excited because I love food. Okay, so we've gotten sweet and spicy chili. This is vegan-free, dairy-free, and gluten-free. And they're in these nice packaging. So they look kind of like a TV dinner, as you can see. So I just stuck mine in the freezer. It has dates on it, freeze by so-and-so date. So you can get a bunch of them, have them shipped to you, and then just fill your freezer. If you don't ever want to cook, you don't have to. So there's my chili, and then you could put it on a plate, and you don't have to eat it out of here. It will look like you cooked it, in case you're trying to impress somebody. Okay, so breakfast, turkey bacon scramble. Got scrambled eggs, turkey bacon. This is also gluten-free. Kathy, the chief decision maker at Ovaleye, was super excited about this because there's so many options in here that are gluten-free. It's really hard to find, especially foods like this, that are good for you. They're like homemade and they taste good and they're not icky. I don't know the word for it, like boring and bland and blah. It's hard to find them. So she was super excited to hear about this because she is gluten-free. Okay, so yes, there's dessert too. Chocolate coconut chocolate chip cookie. Vegan-free, gluten-free. And look, it's a 3-pack. You don't eat just one, you eat 3. Even better. Okay, so, and then we have shredded chicken and mac and cheese. I'm going to eat this one. This one sounds really good. I probably will have a helper eating it with me because it's macaroni and cheese. So like any food, all the nutrition's on here. Super easy. You just pop it in the microwave and eat it, except for it's way better for you than anything that you would ever buy in the frozen section at the grocery store. Okay. And there's bars too. Again, one is missing. I can't remember the flavor of the one that I ate, but it was good. So we've got apples and oats, chewy chocolate chip, and these are good bars. This right here filled me up. This wasn't like a quick little snack. I was full from this bar because it's pretty dense and there's a lot of stuff in here. And then these are gluten-free also. So really quick, again, this is Fitzee Foods. Their website's up here. It's Fitzee foods.com. And Michelle Weinstein, I've met her online via social media. I met her in a private Facebook group for like-minded entrepreneurs. So everybody go check out fitzeefoods.com. You can contact Michelle. She is really awesome. Love her. If you're in San Diego, you can go to her store. I'm not sure if she's there, but you can go to her store and pick out your food, or you can get it online and have it come to your doorstep like it did to me. You don't ever have to leave. You don't ever have to cook. It's very nice. Okay, so thanks, Michelle, for sending this food. It was very yummy. I'm going to eat the rest of it. And Jules is in the chat saying yum. I'm going to go have some breakfast now. I went from caffeinated waffles to Fitzee Foods. I'm going to get full from this show. I hope I don't keep getting larger. Okay, so next week, regular show, regular date, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. We have Tracy Westlager. She does something that's really cool. Oh, I don't have it. It's down here somewhere on the shelf. She does Sincerely Yours by Tracy. It's a custom card service, but she found a special niche. She sends out regularly for companies cards. So she gets information. I don't know if she gets it a report from the company or what, with birthdays or anniversaries of clients or whatever. And she automatically sends out these cards for these businesses, so the companies don't have to deal with the cards or forgetting or remembering or anything like that. And they're custom handmade cards. They're beautiful. So she's going to be joining us next week. And the product we're featuring next week is allblownup.com. So I'll give you a little preview. And I chose to do this next week because the show's the day before Halloween. So we're going to be joined by Han Solo. So this is our cardboard cutout. This is what All Blown Up does. That's all you get to see for now. You'll have to watch next week. I've got more of them to show you. And being that it's Halloween, they're in costume and it's very funny. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Hilarious. Okay, so tune in next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, right here at smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.